It's done.
It's a done deal.
That deal's done. Yeah, yeah.
So that's going ahead January 18th.
That's happening January 18th here in Las Vegas. If Conor can get through Cowboy and if Khabib can get through Tony, then we'd be looking at a rematch with Conor and Khabib.
Wow.
Down the line here pretty soon.
Dana, thank you so much for inviting us here to the PI, man. This is some serious setup here in Las Vegas.
Pleasure, pleasure. No, thanks for coming.
Ahead of, obviously, 245 at the weekend, another stat card, which we're going to speak about in a moment. I just want to talk about 2019 as a whole, because for me, looking back, I mean, we've been quite lucky. Before DC, we had 2 weeks where we could actually take stock of everything that's happened, which is unusual for the UFC.
Very true.
But,
well, we broke a record this year, the most fights that we've ever done in a year. So it was nice to actually be able to have 2 weeks off.
In that 2 weeks, looking back at the year, I mean, you must be quite proud of the things that have been achieved this year. Obviously, breaking out in Asia, cards in Abu Dhabi, all these new territories that you're getting involved with, and some of the cards that you put on here in the States as well have been quite unbelievable. It's
been a monumental year for us. We literally have broken records. If you think of all the things that we've done in 20 years, and we're still shattering records, yeah, it was an awesome year. And, you know, obviously we did what we always do. We continue to look for the best talent, put on the best fights that we can possibly make. But I think this year, it was very evident what a game changer being on ESPN is too. I think that was very big for us.
Do you feel that this is the year 2019? I know that you've said this personally yourself, but maybe a few more fans are starting to agree with you on this, that 2019 has been the year that fans have realised that the UFC don't necessarily need Conor McGregor, with all due respect to him, when you've got people like Israel Adesanya doing what he's done this year and various others.
Guys, I've been hearing this for 20 years. You know, people were asking me, what are you going to do when Hughes and Liddell and Anderson Silva and Ronda, and it just, the list goes on throughout all the years. Listen, I would love to keep them all forever, but that's not reality, and that's not the way it works. I literally work nonstop on always looking for the new up-and-coming best talent in the world. We scour the earth looking for them. Now we've built these performance institutes in China, here, but we've been doing it for years before that. And I want to put on the fight that the fans want to see, but I want to put on the fight with the absolute best in the world in their prime. You know, that's the goal. That's what we do here. And there's always going to be somebody new. There's always going to be somebody. You've never seen me out chasing anybody saying, oh my God, I need this guy or that girl to fight right now or this time, or that many times, you know. Nobody's bigger than the sport, ever. Nobody. If you look at what I've done in the last 20 years to help build the sport and build the brand and all this other stuff, there will be a day when I leave too, and the sport will go on and the UFC will go on. No one person is bigger than the sport ever.
When will that be?
No time soon. I just signed a new deal. Unless I get hit by a bus, I'm not going anywhere.
Well, that's good to hear. Going obviously into 2020 then, off the back of this year, all the rumours regarding fights that we're hopefully expecting to see in January, February and March in particular, that's got a lot of fans salivating, you know? Especially, you have this card at the weekend. We'll talk about that first then. 245 this weekend. Mm-hmm. You look at that main card, and every single one of those fights could be a main event somewhere else.
Right.
They're crazy.
Yeah, the whole main card could main event. You're absolutely right. This card's incredible this weekend. You know, we were talking about the 2019 year and how successful we've been. You know, we broke records this year for gate. We broke records this year for fights. We broke records this year for attendance. The list goes on and on. And it's 100%, you know, ESPN has a lot to do with it, in my opinion, but also the fights that we've been putting on. And not just the fights, but the way that the fights have played out, the way people have been fighting. It's just, it's incredible.
No, absolutely. Can't wait for it this weekend.
Me too. And I'm excited for everything that the fans are excited about. Like you said, you know, the fights that are coming up this spring, it's going to be fun. The rest of the winter and spring is going to be fun.
We'll get onto that in a minute. Hopefully we'll get something out of you. But regarding this weekend, obviously the welterweight title clash, how come it took so long maybe to get that one on between Kamaru and Colby?
A lot of stuff went on. I mean, a lot of stuff went on in trying to make these fights. But it happens. It's part of the business. You know, it's just part of the business. But we eventually get it done.
Yeah.
We eventually, you know, get the fights that need to happen or that people want to see.
Regarding Max Holloway and Alex Volkanovski, it's an intriguing fight. So excited to see it. Just want to get your opinion on Max, because he's a guy that now a lot of people are saying could go on to become the best featherweight. I mean, we've had Aldo, Conor's been there, now he's there as well. Where do you rank him amongst not just featherweights, but amongst every fight that you've seen in the UFC?
Yeah, he's absolutely one of the best of all time. You know, if you look at the streak that he's been on in that weight division, he looks better every time he fights. I love this style where he just buzzsaws through people, just keeps moving forward. And it'll be an interesting fight with Volkanovski, who is a gritty, tough guy, great wrestling, heavy hands. This is a really, really good test for Max. I think this fight on Saturday is going to tell us where Max is and how long he's actually going to reign in this division. If he walks through Volkanovski, holy right?
Absolutely. Speaking of walking through people, Amanda, we have to wax lyrical about her, because we've seen some pioneers in female mixed martial arts, obviously with Ronda and various others that have come through. But I look at Amanda, and the game's changed again with the way that she goes about fighting, and hopefully inspiring the next generation to come through. Is she the greatest of all time for you?
100%. What you don't see is first of all, when you look at somebody and you start calling them the GOAT, the greatest of all time, it's who did they beat, right? Which is very important. And how did they beat them? She has destroyed everybody. I mean, you know, Chris Cyborg, you know, so many women feared her. And you know, for years, she's the fastest knockout in the division's history, right?
Yeah.
Amanda Nunes destroyed her, and basically beat her at her own game. She comes out, she throws heavy punches and tries to bully, and she bullied the bully and knocks her out. She beat Ronda Rousey. She beat Shevchenko twice. You know, she beat Jermaine Durandame. This will be a second time if she can win this one this Saturday. Miesha Tate, and the list goes on and on. And she viciously knocks people out. She's got like 13 finishes or 13 knockouts. I can't remember which one it is. 13 first round finishes. I mean, she's a beast.
Is she going to run out of opponents?
No, you never run out of opponents. I mean, Anderson Silva went on a run for a very long time, never ran out of opponents. George St. Pierre, you know, there's tons of there's always somebody. There's always going to be somebody next.
Do you see her, because she is so vicious and so great with her hands, do you ever see her crossing over into the world of boxing? Fighting someone like a Clarissa Shields, for example?
Clarissa Shields is coming. She'll be here Saturday to watch the fight. Yeah, she's coming to watch the fight. And I will be honest with you, Clarissa Shields, people and I have talked, and I don't know. We'll see.
There's a twinkle in your eye.
We've talked, yeah. And I know they're both interested in it too, so we'll see how this whole thing plays out. But, you know, we have a lot of respect for her too, and she's going to come to the fight, and it should be fun.
How far along are we with January 18th? Conor's obviously set that date, and we know that there's rumours knocking about that it will be Cowboy and Conor.
It's done.
It's a done deal.
That deal's done, yeah.
So that's going ahead January 18th.
That's happening January 18th here in Las Vegas.
Fantastic. Regarding Khabib and Tony, how close to...
Fight's done. That fight's done. It's happening. And, you know, if Conor can get through Cowboy and if Khabib can get through Tony, then we'd be looking at a rematch with Conor and Khabib down the line here pretty soon.
Would that be before... I mean, Conor's obviously... Is that at welterweight, by the way, Conor and Cowboy?
Yes, yeah, it's at welterweight.
Okay, so with that in mind then, has either of those guys got one eye on Masvidal later on the line?
Yeah, Conor was interested in Masvidal too, but I think he wants Khabib first.
Okay. Back down at 155?
At 155.
Okay. Finally then, for UK fight fans, we've got to talk about UFC London. We've got some wonderful talent now, we think anyway, in the UK.
We think too.
Good. Regarding fights,
Edwards. I mean, Edwards is a rising star, and you know, this kid is mean and nasty and aggressive, and his stand-up is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you know, that country is up for grabs and waiting to be taken by somebody, man. And if Edwards can you know, become a world champion, that guy can be a big star over there.
does a fight with Tyron Woodley interest you for him?
We're working on it.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. That'd be wonderful if we could get that in the UK. That'd be sensational. And regarding Darren Till, you've got to give him an awful lot of credit with the way that he handled himself and managed to come through his fight in New York. He's now all of a sudden speaking about the likes of a Robert Whittaker and various others.
Yeah.
Are you maybe pushing Darren towards being back on that London card, or is there something else in the pipeline for him?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly what we're working on with Till, but everybody knows I love the kid, and you know, we'll figure something out for him soon.
Okay, Dana, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank
Likewise.
you very much.
Thank you, my friend.
What's up, man?